The quiet observer, the morning sun, filtered through the tall windows of Sterling Tower, casting long shadows across the marble floor. Maria Rodriguez pushed her cleaning cart down the empty hallway, her worn shoes barely making a sound. She had been cleaning these offices for 15 years now, arriving before dawn and leaving after most people went home. The building was always quiet at this hour, peaceful in a way that reminded her of the small village she'd left behind in Mexico so long ago. Maria was 60, 2 years old, with silver streaks in her dark hair and hands that told stories of hard work. She lived simply in a small apartment across town, sending money back to her daughter and grandchildren every month. The work was honest, and she took pride in it. Every surface she cleaned, every window she polished, she did with care and attention. This particular morning felt different somehow. The air in the building seemed heavy with tension. Maria had learned over the years to read the mood of a place. She noticed things that others missed: the coffee cups left half, full on desks, the crumpled papers in trash bins, the lights that stayed on all night in certain offices. Today, those lights had been burning in the corner office on the 42nd floor. Mr. Sterling's office. James Sterling was the founder and CEO of Sterling Industries, a man whose face appeared in business magazines and on television. Maria had seen him many times over the years, though he had never really seen her. She was part of the invisible workforce that kept his world running smoothly. As Maria stepped off the elevator onto the executive floor, she noticed something unusual. The large conference room door was slightly open, and voices drifted out into the hallway. She hesitated. The meeting wasn't supposed to start until 9 o'clock, and it was barely 6:30 now. She needed to clean that room before the executives arrived. Maria knocked softly on the door, then pushed it open a bit wider. Inside, she saw Mr. Sterling sitting at the head of the long glass table. He looked tired, his expensive suit jacket draped over the back of his chair, his tie loosened. Around the table sat several other people in business attire, all looking at documents spread before them. "I'm sorry," Maria said quietly, "I come back later." Mr. Sterling looked up, and for the first time in 15 years, he really looked at her. His eyes were red, rimmed, and there was a heaviness in his expression that made her heart ache a little. She had seen that look before, on her late husband's face when he struggled with problems he couldn't solve. "It's fine," he said, his voice rough with exhaustion. "We're just finishing up. Give us 5 minutes." Maria nodded and stepped back into the hallway, but she didn't go far. Something made her pause. She could hear their voices through the open door, not quite eavesdropping, but not quite leaving either. Years of working in silence had made her good at being unnoticed. "James, you need to sign this," a woman's voice said firmly. "The merger papers need to go through today. Titanium Corp is waiting. $500 million, another voice added. "It's the deal of the decade. Everything's been verified. The lawyers have signed off on it." Maria heard papers rustling. She glanced through the doorway and saw Mr. Sterling reaching for a pen. The woman in the dark blue suit placed a thick document in front of him, pointing to a line at the bottom of the page. Everyone around the table leaned forward, watching him intently, and then Maria saw it. It was small, so small that no one else seemed to notice. But Maria had spent years reading documents as she cleaned offices. She had taught herself English by reading the papers people left behind, slowly improving her vocabulary night after night. She might not understand complicated business terms, but she knew numbers, and she knew when something didn't look right. The number on the signature page didn't match the number on the page behind it. The document Mr. Sterling was about to sign showed $500 million. But the page behind it, visible just for a moment as the woman shifted the papers, showed something different. Much different. Maria's heart began to beat faster. She thought about walking away. These were important people making important decisions. Who was she to interfere? She was just a cleaning lady. They probably wouldn't even listen to her. But then she thought about her daughter, and about all the times someone had taken advantage of her because she was poor, because she didn't speak perfect English, because she seemed like someone who wouldn't be believed. She thought about right and wrong, and how sometimes doing the right thing meant being brave even when you were scared. Maria stepped back into the conference room. "Excuse me," she said, her voice soft but steady. "I think something is wrong." The woman in the blue suit turned to her with irritation. "We're in the middle of something important. Please come back later." But Maria didn't move. She looked directly at Mr. Sterling. "The papers, sir, the numbers, they don't match." The room fell silent. Mr. Sterling's hand, which had been moving toward the signature line, stopped. "What do you mean?" Maria pointed with her yellow-gloved hand, feeling every eye in the room on her. "The page you sign says 500 million, but the page behind, it says 50 million. The numbers are different." The woman's face went pale. One of the men at the table shifted uncomfortably. Mr. Sterling slowly pulled the document closer and began flipping through the pages. The silence stretched out, thick and tense. After what felt like an eternity, Mr. Sterling looked up. His expression had changed from exhaustion to cold anger. "She's right," he said quietly. "The acquisition amount on the signature page doesn't match the terms in the body of the contract. I would have been signing away $500 million for a company worth only $50 million. The woman started to speak, but Mr. Sterling held up his hand. "Don't," he said. "Just don't. Security will escort you out, all of you. My lawyers will be in touch." Maria backed toward the door, her heart pounding. She had done what she needed to do. Now she just wanted to disappear back into her routine, back into invisibility. "Wait," Mr. Sterling called out. "Please wait." Maria stopped and turned slowly. Mr. Sterling was standing now, walking around the table toward her. Up close, she could see the genuine shock in his eyes, but also something else. Gratitude. "What's your name?" he asked gently. "Maria Rodriguez, sir, Maria." He repeated it carefully, respectfully. "How long have you worked here?" 15 years. He was quiet for a moment, and Maria saw something shift in his expression. 15 years, and he had never known her name. She could see that realization settling on him like a weight. "You just saved me from losing $500 million, he said. "Probably saved my entire company, and I don't even know your name." He paused, then added, "I should have known your name." Maria didn't know what to say to that, so she simply nodded. Over the following weeks, things changed in small but meaningful ways. Mr. Sterling made sure Maria received a substantial bonus and a significant raise.